What's going on, guys? It's Uche Njoku, and first of all, I'm not trying to be cool. These are actually prescriptions, and I've been going through some light sensitivity today, so these are prescriptions that literally, right now, this is a blur, a little bit of a blur, but this is perfect. So, yes, I'm not trying to stunt or be the cool guy right now. It's just that right now, wearing these are very helpful, so I can actually see and not have cluster headaches or migraines. In this very short episode of the Sneaker Principle podcast, I want to talk to you about whether or not, if you're considering getting a license to be a school administrator, whether you should do that. Every state has its own policies and systems. Here in New York State, you have the SBL, which is the School Building Leaders Licensure. And you also have the SDL, which is the School District Leaders Licensure or Certificate. So the question is, should you get one? This is a question that comes to me quite often. As a matter of fact, today I had a conversation with a friend who was speaking about their journey through their SBL program. And a lot of things were said that made me really think, because I've had mine now for, I got mine in 2011. So we're talking about 11, what was that? I can't even count. 14 years? Yeah, 14 years. Wow, 14 years. And soon after that, immediately after that, I became an assistant principal. And so I've had that license. I've been functioning as a school administrator for 14 years. Not including the years that I put in acting in that role, but I didn't have the licensure, so it wasn't official. So the conversation we had was the nature of the training programs, the programs that are offered through various universities and colleges for this license. You have to take classes. You can't just go based on experience. You have to take classes, and these classes have certain things that you have to learn, certain standards you have to meet, so you can sit for the state examination for the licensure, and then, of course, do internships and all these other things you have to do to make sure you're qualified and you'll be granted a license from the state of New York or wherever you are, if that is the process. And the thing is, it is daunting. The whole process is daunting. It typically takes anywhere from, I would say about, honestly, if it was done properly, anywhere from like 12 to 18 months, maybe 24 months, depending where you are, what the institution is, or how easy they make it. But again, it's something that's out there. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be recommended for it. If you want to go get the license, at least here in New York State, you can. Now, the question is it something that you should actually do? And this is what I'm going to tell you. That the thing that I say to people is, if you're getting it just for the sake of getting it, just because you want extra credits towards your step up in salary, or just to have it on your resume, my response is don't do it. Like, there's other things you can do that can be way more helpful to you than getting a license to be a school administrator. I think it's one of those things that you do because you are actually looking in that path where you are planning to become an administrator. You want to be an administrator. You want to advance your career in that direction. And the way I look at it is, I know this is really extreme. It's like saying, I want to go to medical school so I can just have a medical degree. Okay, I'm sure there are people out there who've done it, but it doesn't make quite sense. It's a professional tool that's meant to be utilized in a professional capacity. That is, if you're a doctor or you are a school administrator. And some people, also might say, well, I want the experience. I want to know what it's like. I find it fascinating. So I take these classes, get a certification, so then I can have an understanding on how to do the work. And my response is along the lines of medical school. Let's say we go to medical school for 4 years. After 4 years, you get your degree. Pretend this is a degree. You get your degree. You are Jane Smith, John Smith, MD. You're done, right? You get to go open your little clinic and say, I'm a doctor, I'm going to start making millions or hundreds of thousands, right? No. That's just the first phase. That's just you getting the book knowledge, the theory, you know. And depending where you go, it might not be it might even be good knowledge, but it's enough to allow you to be able to pass the board exams, to say that academically speaking, intellectually speaking, you have the capacity to do this work. No, let me take it back. You have the capacity to keep learning. That's what that is. But in any professional setting, you want to be a continuous learner. So that's all what that medical degree is. And in all reality, that's all that administrative license is. It's just saying that you understand the key concepts of what is required of this job. The key concepts, but not in its totality. As a doctor, you get that experience by doing your residency. You go spend 4, 5, 6, 7 years at a hospital making not that great amount of money in the beginning, but you're getting experience. What the book said here is not going to be universal all the time. So the knowledge is giving you kind of like within the square. Those are the lines. These are the 4 lines that should be the foundation of your ability in this profession. But we also know there's a lot of things that happens where that the 4 lines break and all of a sudden expand itself because there's so much more out there that you need to understand to make that box bigger and bigger and bigger and break those lines and reconnect those lines. I know this is a weird analogy, but the key here is what you need to learn, what you need to know is what you get from experience. So if you have no thought or want to be an assistant principal, be a principal, be in any kind of administrative role, even if it's just for a little while to learn, then you're wasting your money. It would have been better for you to go get a certification in coaching or some other thing that you can actually apply versus school administration, which is a very specific role. There is no other role like being an assistant principal, being a principal. There is none. There are no other responsibilities within the DOE that are likened to that of being a school builder leader. So think about that. Consider that. If you're going to spend that money on getting that certification, you have to ask yourself, why? If the answer is, I want to be an assistant principal right now, do it. Even if it's, I'm thinking about it seriously, do it. But if it's just like, it's something to do, you're going to be frustrated because you're going to be expecting answers to things and not realize there are no answers. Like those answers you're looking for, they're not there. There are things that they're not just floating in the air. There are things that you actually have to experience and formulate for yourself and engage in conversation with colleagues and go through experiences and go through other trainings that's typically on the job that allows you to see the bigger picture. So yeah, don't do it. If you're looking for a job, there's other jobs you can do. But no, this is your work and your life's work and the thing that grounds you, then of course do it. Because more than likely you will be the assistant principal and more likely you're going to be a principal. And now the things that you learn theoretically, foundationally, will make sense. And not only that, you will help transform that foundational knowledge to be something greater for the greater good. All right, y'all. Uche Njoku, thank you so much for your time. And I'll talk to you all soon. Be well.